9 Common XSD Errors in EMIR. EMIR brought about a significant change by shifting from a CSV to an XML file structure. Unlike CSV, XML comes with a built-in schema and validation system that relies on XSD files. In simpler terms, when you create an EMIR XML file, it gets checked against a specific set of formatting and data rules outlined in the XSD file. If your XML file doesn't follow these rules, you'll run into errors. Let's go through some of the most common errors and their causes. Error 1. Element XYZ is not allowed at this location. This error happens when an element is positioned somewhere it shouldn't be, according to the XSD schema. Usually, this is due to elements being ordered or nested incorrectly. Take the derivatives report, for example. In this report, all action types, like mute, modi, value, term, POSC, EROR, core, and revi, must include 3 specific elements in a precise order as defined by the XSD schema. If these elements are not in the correct order, such as, if level appears before, counterparty-specific data or common trade data, this error will occur. The same thing happens if an unexpected element, like XYZ, is found within the action type's nested structure. Traction's XML generator is designed to strictly follow the schema, ensuring that elements are always in the correct order and no unexpected elements appear in the output XML. Error 2. XYZ has an invalid child element ABC. This error occurs when an element is missing some of the required child elements specified by the XSD schema. This often happens because of missing data in Traction's client's input files, whether from their trading platform or back-office system. For example, in a derivatives report, the transaction data element is supposed to include a specific child element called subsequent position UTI. If subsequent position UTI is missing from the XML output, this error will be triggered. For instance, if the client's input data is incomplete, it can lead to missing elements in the XML output. To catch this, our XML generator includes a missing elements flagger that alerts us when this error occurs. Error 3. Invalid Boolean value for an element. This error occurs when an element's value doesn't match the expected Boolean values, which should be in lowercase as true or false. For example, the reporting obligation field must use lowercase true or false. If it's populated with uppercase true or false, it will trigger an error. Error 4. Invalid decimal value scientific notation. This error happens when an element with a decimal type contains an invalid value, often due to the presence of scientific notation. This usually occurs if the client's input data is truncated or improperly formatted. For example, if an XML element like amount, which is defined as a decimal type, contains a value in scientific notation, it will cause an error. Error 5. Pattern constraint violation. This error occurs when an element's value doesn't match the pattern specified in the XSD schema. This is commonly seen with fields like the UTI, where a specific pattern must be followed. For example, in EMIR, new rules for the UTI require all characters to be uppercase, and all characters except the 19th and 20th positions to be alphanumeric. The 19th and 20th positions must be digits. Previously, EMIR standards allowed special characters and were less strict. Error 6. Enumeration constraint violation. This error occurs when an element's value doesn't match one of the predefined options specified in the XSD schema. Enumeration constraints limit the values to a specific set of choices. For example, the valuation method field is restricted to 3 predefined values: central counterparty valuation, mark-to-market valuation, and mark-to-model valuation. Any value outside of these options will trigger an error. Additionally, some old EMIR fields, such as base product and subproduct, used a 2-letter format. For example, Agriculture was represented as AG in the pre-EMIR Refit format and is now AGRI in EMIR. To handle this change, we have automatic converters that update old EMIR formats to the new EMIR format. Error 7. Missing required attribute. This error happens when an element is missing a required attribute specified by the XSD schema. This is often seen in amount or price fields, where certain attributes are mandatory. For example, in EMIR, fields like price, strike price, and notional amount require the currency attribute when the price is expressed as a monetary value, not as a percentage or basis points. If the amount is provided without the currency attribute, an error will be triggered, indicating that the amount element is missing the required currency attribute. Error 8. Invalid date or time format. This error occurs when a date or time value doesn't match the format specified by the XSD schema. The XS date-time type requires a specific format, like year, month, day, hours, minute, and seconds. Any deviation from this format will trigger an error. Error 9. Exceeding maximum length constraint. This error occurs when the length of a string element or attribute exceeds the maximum length defined in the XSD schema. The max length facet specifies the allowed number of characters. For example, in the EMIR XML schema, the unique transaction identifier element is limited to a maximum length of 52 characters. With the added complexity of XML and XSD validations in trade reporting, many firms find they need external assistance to manage their daily reporting processes. If you think you could benefit from this kind of support, contact Traction for help. Traction, Trade Reporting Simplified.